think in general, in all our coverage, I think we knew we had to be a little better. I think coming into the game, watching film, we knew there was a lot of stuff we could have improved from game 4. Like Mark said, if we would have lost that game by 1, we would have been really looking at that game like we left a lot of points on the table. And so that was just a big impetus for us, just to be cleaner on the defensive coverage, be cleaner on the just kind of more of the scouting for where we want us to be going. I think we did a lot better job in that.
How do you deal with the anxiety when you are a few hours away from the game that could give you a ring?
I think the main thing is just approaching it like not like every other game, but we're not looking at it if we win a championship. We're focusing on this game 6. We still want to come out with the same, I guess, desperation as the Pacers are going to come out with. And that's the biggest thing. We're not changing. We're not looking too far ahead. We just have to focus on the present moment, and I think that kind of takes away the anxiety.
Your second straight year playing against Tyrese Halliburton in the series. What's different when he's off the floor for the Pacers, and how do you guys prepare for a game where he might be injured or unavailable?
I mean, we're preparing him. He's going to play. I mean, that's what we're focused on. I mean, it's the finals. The same thing last series where people are sick, people say they're not going to play, so we're just focusing on that he's going to play. And if he doesn't play, we're ready regardless. And I think we're just focused on that.
Isaiah, looking back to the summer, obviously in your conversations with Sam before the Dimitri, I imagine you know in making a move that you're trying to compete for a title in this team could compete for a title even back then. But it doesn't seem like Sam has used that word a lot, or the idea of a championship. Like, what role has his phrasing and the way he's treated that sort of played in getting you guys here?
I think the biggest thing with the organization is that we're very present and focused. I think we hear 0-0 mentality probably almost every interview. I think that's been huge for us. I mean, even now, I think as a team, we're just focusing on Game 6. We're not focusing on if we win, what happens. We're not focusing on whoever outside of it. I mean, you're going to have a lot of media talking about media family, talking about if we win, blah, 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 but we're focusing on Game 6. We're going to come out with desperation. We're going to come out defiant. We're not going to kind of ease into it, and I think that's the main thing.
Du hast gerade gesagt, dass ihr euch nicht darauf fokussieren möchtet, dass ihr eventuell jetzt ein Championship morgen gewinnen könnt. Und ihr wirkt dabei so konzentriert. Interessiert zu wissen, habt ihr irgendwie einen Coach, der euch da irgendwie so ein bisschen Mental Coaching-mäßig, das euch richtig ausrichtet? Oder wo kommt das her, dass ihr so geerdet seid und fokussiert seid?
Ein bisschen von beiden. Ich meine, Sam Presti hat einen guten Job gemacht, die Spieler zu holen, die jetzt diese Mentalität haben. Aber Mark ist sehr gut damit, da uns fokussiert zu bleiben, aber auch die Emotionen nicht so hoch und nicht so tief zu haben. Und ich glaube, das fängt wirklich alles mit Mark an und von daher.
Wie ist es für dich selber? Kann man noch normal schlafen oder ist es schon so mittlerweile, dass es doch ein bisschen Aufregung da ist?
Für mich kann ich ganz normal schlafen. Ich meine, ich versuche so präsent zu sein wie möglich. Ich meine, klar ist man ein Mensch, da kommt manchmal die Emotion auf, aber ich glaube, wenn man einfach wirklich versucht, in dem Moment zu bleiben, da kann man schon gut schlafen.
Hast du Familie oder Freunde dabei, die eventuell?
Ja, meine Familie ist hier, meine Schwester, meine Mutter, Vater, Frau, Kind, ein paar Freunde. Ja, schon ein paar Leute dabei.
Perfekt.
Hey Isaiah, you were a second round pick and G-League got traded. Now you're one win away from the championship. First of all, does it feel real? And second, what did you learn from all those experiences that helped you today?
I mean, in general, we're not really focused on what if something happens. We're really focusing on the present moment. We're focusing on we still got to go win Game 6. We got to have that desperation and not act like we already won some. Again, it's the first of 4, not the first of 3. So that's kind of what we're focusing on. Again, I think the journey, it was great. I think a lot of people can learn from it. I think there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of figuring out, changing roles, figuring out how to establish yourself in the NBA, and I think that's the biggest thing when you talk about your ego. I think for me it was, starting off in the NBA, I've seen a lot of different players that were really talented but weren't able to look at their stuff, let the ego go, and do what was best for their career. I had to change the way I played. I had to figure out what I can do to consistently get a niche in the NBA, and I think I kind of found that.
You as a team were here in a situation like this in Game 6 against Denver. What lessons can you take from maybe not your best outing of the playoffs and apply here?
We just got to come out with desperation. Again, kind of like I said before, it's the first of 4, so we're not going to come in acting like everything's sealed, everything's done. They're going to come out with desperation. They're a great team, and we're going to come out with the same, and probably maybe even more desperation now. So that's where we're at. We're not looking too far ahead. I think Mark does a great job of not focusing too much on the outside, not focusing too much. If we win one game, we're going to win a championship. We're really focused on, let's play this Game 6. Let's go through the ups and downs through the Game 6, but then also just establish it early and come out with that position.
Take one more.
Isaiah, obviously, this sort of thing is like arbitrary, but I think the big talking point coming to the playoffs for you guys was looking at past teams and how much they failed leading up to a run and that sort of having a role. And I mean, you think of Boston, they lost, I don't know how many conference finals before they climbed the mountain. I just wonder how you view this team's adversity and why you think it's maybe been enough to get you guys here.
If you look at most of the players on this team, I think almost everyone has been through some kind of adversity throughout their career. You look at AC, started out two-way. I think he got cut from here. From OKC, he got cut from here, had to prove himself as a two-way. My story's the same. Got cut a couple of times, had to prove myself in the league. Dort, same way. Dub came from Santa Clara, had to prove himself too. If you look at everyone on our team, we've all been through adversity. We've all been through certain obstacles in our career, and I think we're very mature for our ages because we've been through that adversity. And then I also think Sam and Mark did a great job of just establishing a culture to where you can thrive in situations like that.
Do you think individual adversity can kind of transcend leading to lose over and over as a team like that?
To a certain extent. You never know how certain roads can go, but again, I think everyone being through a certain adversity, but then also you have to give Sam a lot of credit to finding the players that can still click together. And I think just having those adversity, but then also having everyone being egoless, I think kind of maybe excels everything, but again, our job isn't finished.
You're all set. Thanks, Isaiah.
Appreciate y'all.
It just kept my confidence high. I've been shooting contested shots all year, so not a new approach to the game. Just some shots fell, so it's my coach.
How did you feel when that first one going?
Definitely, they've been feeling good for a while, so I just knew it was a matter of time until they started going in.
Cason, how do you deal with the anxiety when you are a few hours away from that game? Would you give you a win?
I just stay present, stay focused on the game ahead of me. Try not to look too far ahead, just worry about the game. That was the play.
Something to change for you guys to know if Caruso will play or not tomorrow?
Not at all. They're going to have their best foot forward, so we just got to be ready for that.
Especially threes made you also had 4 steals off the bench. When Shea and Jada were giving you that level of offense, does it allow you to play defense more freely, take some more risks?
Yes and no. We still got to be solid, but you know we got to go on the offense. You know we can get more aggressive on defense.
This would be the franchise's first championship win, but for the second, dating back to Seattle. What would that mean for you and also for the city to get that championship for Oklahoma City?
It'll mean a lot, you know, but we got to get through this next game first. So we don't want to, you know, look too far ahead yet. You know, just got to take one game at a time.
What did you guys learn from Game 4 that you applied to Game 5, specifically on offense? It felt like the ball was really moving versus like it was in 4.
Like you said, just moving the ball early, playing in closeouts, being able to, you know, create for our teammates and know that they'll make the right play.
And you mentioned like staying really grounded and present in the moment. This isn't the first time you've had an opportunity to close out a series on the road. Just what goes into the mentality of these sort of games that you can learn from those other situations?
Knowing that we was in this situation against Denver and we didn't close it out. So just knowing that, you know, we want to learn from past experiences, so we're going to come out harder than we did and you know, try to finish it.
And see, defensive switching, you're switching. So that's what happened in the first half. Right now, did you guys see that on film? Like that was to kind of really communicate more through those switches and make them a little quicker?
Yeah, we executed our coverages a lot better in Game 5. Just seeing the power of that, you know, it gives us motivation that, like, if we do it, you know, we'll be in a good spot.
You kind of touched on this, but specifically, what is the lesson out of the Denver situation that you can apply here?
Don't get complacent. Don't look too far ahead. You know, we gotta take it one game at a time. You know, I feel like we were a little relaxed in that game. So just knowing that we can't make that same mistake.
Thanks, Shaw.
Your fingerprints were all over that win on Game 5, especially on the defensive side. I was just wondering how much would you say you improved defensively since you came into the league? Switching, shot blocking, I know that was always kind of your style, but how would you say you prepare for moments like that?
Just by always having like a real attention to improvement there. You know, really watching where I could do better, having a mindset that I need to get better in those areas, and then working with the coaching staff to see how it all kind of ties into what we're trying to accomplish as a team. You know, I think there were a lot of really good moments on that end in Game 5, but you know, I got to continue to be better for us going forward.
Okay, Chet, you are a really young player playing at the biggest level. I want to know how you handle all the opinions that people will say about you on social media or TV shows. I wonder if you see that and you watch that, and if someone gave you any advice on how to handle that.
I'd say the biggest thing I learned to do is not try to handle any of it, you know. I just try to handle my job, which is playing basketball. The reason we're able to play in front of so many cameras and get paid to do what we do is because people have opinions, people talk about it. It's all part of the business of basketball, and you know, my part in that business is to play basketball. So, you know, I just focus on that, playing basketball, trying to be better every night, and you know, I let those people do their jobs.
Jumping to, I don't know that, you know, coming to the season, it felt like a lot of people thought this could be team that could be here, that could possibly win a championship, but it doesn't seem like Sam has used that sort of phrasing in the building, what championship titles and that sort of thing. I wonder what role that's played in getting you guys here and that whole idea of the fact that the championship could have been a possibility. You don't make those, and I'm in the seat place.
I mean, if you sit and talk about doing something for a long time and you don't actually do everything every single day that it takes to work towards that, you're never going to get there. So there really is no focusing on the end goal. You know, while you're in it, you know, you know what the end goal is, but at the end of the day, you got to focus on what you have to do every single day to get better every day, to put yourself in a position to try to reach that.
I know we should be kind of compared the adversity that we're going through past year. A lot of people said you guys hadn't gone through enough adversity to get here. I wonder how you view the adversity your team has faced what that adversity rules are, and why it's really been in that to get.
I mean, I think the people saying that are they making it sound like it's easy or something?
No, I think people have made it sound like you guys haven't gone through enough comparative adversity.
We haven't failed big enough.
Or just frankly frequently enough. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak for everybody on the team, but I feel like I've seen my fair share of adversity. I want to continue to see that, and I just have to continue to work hard through it all. And as a team, no matter what we see, we're trying to come together over it, good or bad, and we're going to continue to do that no matter what happens. But other than that, I don't know really others.
Clinch games are always the hardest. How does the pass punch you use in this postseason, particularly that U7 means Denver help you guys prepare for this one?
I wouldn't say it's past specific games. I think everything that we've done as a whole and everything we've seen and tried to improve from, helps us going forward, and that's the mindset we try to have. And we kind of have to take all the experiences, good and bad, that we've had up to this point, and take that unique game 6 and try and execute on it.
Chet, with Tyrese Halliburton hurt, do you guys make 2 game plans as if he is and isn't playing? Do you prepare the same? How does that kind of influence what you guys do heading in?
You say that all the time.
With Tyrese Halliburton hurt, do you guys prep the same as if he is or isn't playing? Is there 2 game plans? How similar is it to a normal game with that injury?
I mean, we're expecting the best punch out of Indiana. That's what we're preparing for. We're preparing for their best punch, and that's all there is to.
Hey, Chet, step back to tomorrow. We're excited. Coach Carline was just talking to me about the evolution of the game and how, his day, big guys stay down low, big cuts the basket, rebound, defend in the paint. That's it. Now, you're a younger guy, curious, your own evolution. When it became clear that you were going to be a big guy, when you were still playing youth basketball, did they let you touch the ball? Or were you part of this new modern age where you're going to be that stretch 4, stretch 5? What was your own evolution?
So early on, I wasn't very good, so I didn't touch the basketball. But, my dad did a good job of putting me in the gym with coaches who saw us where the direction where the game is going. And they continued to kind of teach me, skills that you're going to need all over the basketball court, and not try to just teach you how to play this in one part of basketball court or if you're just one thing. So over time, I gradually got better, was able to kind of showcase more, work on more, and, I'm just continuing to try and evolve on that. But, when I started playing, it was like 2010, 2011. So, like, if you think about what was happening to the game back then, it was Dort stepping out, Bosch stepping out, KD stepping out, you know what I'm saying? All these, taller wing forward guys, doing more with the basketball, and the game was moving on from having 1 or 2 guys dominate the ball, and everybody else is out there, kind of, not touching the ball as much, I guess you could say, with, more mid-range, more isolation in the game. And now everybody that touches the floor has to be able to make decisions, make plays with the ball in their hands. In different ways. It's not always put the ball on the floor or try to cross the way over, but you have to be able to, make decisions, create action, and really move the defense. And I think this series is a testament to that. With the way the Pacers play, the way that we play, everybody out there is kind of a threat from all over. So, long answer to your question, but that's.
Got time for one more?
Chet, there's going to be a lot of energy and desperation in the building tomorrow. How important is it for you all to take the crowd out of the game early, or is that you just going to handle both sides of the ball?
I don't think you can take the crowd out of the game. I think what you have to do is attack every possession in a way that gives you the best chance to win the game. It doesn't matter if it's possession number 1, possession number 80, up 10, down 2. It doesn't matter. You have to attack everything with the same intentionality, same effort, same focus, and trust that that'll help you win the game.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
what's in your mind when you are so close? How tough, how easy is to manage the most even goal in your side?
Yeah, I mean, I've been preparing for this moment for a couple of years, so I've had the idea of what I thought it would feel like, watching other teams win the final game, and I don't feel very different right now. I'm very, very concentrated, very focused on, winning the first game, because we've talked about all series when we were down 1-0, we were down 2-1. It's the team before us, the main's first, so that's still my mentality, just to try and get this last win.
I know the atmosphere is pretty different right now, respect when you were champion in the lower. Obviously, you were not yet. But are you feeling or remembering some feelings of that moment when you were so close?
Yeah, same adrenaline, same focus, same just the same energies around it, like you understand the moment of how close you are, and you just want to be ready to put your best out there and lead all out there.
And it's about Titus. Halifax, don't really know what will happen, but it's something that is always in the game plan. I mean, it's electric. He's playing and how important is.
I'll expect to do for.
Yeah.
Alex, you had some games with a lot of points, 20-point performances, obviously more steals, more focus on the defensive side. How do you kind of decide as the game goes on, where should you focus on, or that just comes naturally?
Yeah, usually the game kind of tells me what to do. And I think that's probably why I've fit in so well with this team this year is I think there was a clear opportunity and role for me and the skill set that I bring. And, through the playoffs, I've just been trying to focus on that. Each game is figure out, obviously I have to play at a certain energy level and standard throughout the game. But, sometimes the ball finds me 12 times and I shoot, and sometimes it goes in. Other times, like the other night, didn't. I had 4 steals and made some hustle plays. Just trying to win the games. And whatever the game tells me to do, that's usually what I go show up for.
Dave, like you said before, you've been here, one win away from winning it all. Is it one of your role as a veteran and a guy who's been there to tell your teammates about just stay grounded, guys? It's jobs is not done, or you share the same mentality no matter what?
Yeah, I mean, I for us, it's the same thing. Like I just said, we talked about when we were down twice in the series, it's the first team to 4. And until you have 4 wins, you're not the better team, you're not the champion, you don't get to win. So I think we have a clear focus with the group on that's the goal, is to win 4 games. And we understand that, we have a great opportunity to do that tomorrow night in Game 6.
What's your approach to the next 24 to 28 hours, trying to think about it, but not think about it too much tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, you can't run from it. It's going to be there. It's in the back of your mind. I mean, it's the finals. I think just about every series, maybe besides the Memphis series, every day in between, you're thinking about this game. You're thinking about what you did. I mean, what you could do better. But I think the key is just not letting it overrun it, understanding it. The game has to be played. The ball has to go in the hoop. You've got to throw the ball and play 48 minutes. So for me, it's going to be the same thing after this. I'm going to go back in the cold tub, get a massage. It's in Fury. And I watch some golf on there too. Just stuff that I would normally do, in the regular season. Excuse me, stuff I've done through the playoffs to just kind of unwind and get ready for tomorrow.
Okay, Alex. I've heard a lot about your relationship with Cason these past 2 days. How you guys joke around and all. I was wondering, do you think he's learning something from you? And do you think you can learn something from him too, from the way he plays defense?
Yeah, for sure. His instincts are second to none. Him being able to guard guys like he has in his rookie year, and then this year in his second year, and with blocking jump shots, he just takes the ball from people when they put it in front of him. And then I'm trying to teach him just different tendencies and different things to just kind of grow his game in that point, but also just mentality-wise of, what it takes to go out there and guard the best players every single night. And he's done a great job of that, and I've had a lot of fun being his teammate.
So you guys always talk about this going back to square one mentality or square zero, if you put it that way. How do you manage your emotions with a game like the game you have tomorrow in front of you guys?
Well, this is why you play the game. You play the game to win, and we have a chance to win everything tomorrow, and that's what we want. I don't think anybody's
at least on our side, is surprised we're here. We talked about this internally all year about we have the chance to, go take this. You had the opportunity to go earn it. And this is the chance for us to go earn it tomorrow night. So, I expect us to come out and play hard and play to win like we have all year. We don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. We got to be ourselves at a very high level trying to get it done.
But when Shea and Jada were giving you that level of offense that they did in Game 5, you allow you to play defense a bit more freely. You see, you had post teams. Cason had post teams optimized. So is that offense help your defense by any count?
Yeah, at times it does, just because you're not playing in transition and then they're taking the ball out of the basket, so that helps. But honestly, I think I think they balance each other out. I think sometimes, people look at one or the other that helps the opposite a lot, but really I think it's a marriage of both. When you're playing well offensively, you get to set your defense. When you set your defense, they're usually winning more coverages on finishing out possessions better, and then from there you get to play offense more freely. So I think it's a good partnership with both, and obviously then make your shots helps out. Yeah.
And I imagine when you joined the if you had a choice, imagine you came in and knew his team could compete for a title. Doesn't feel like Sam is sort of used those sort of terms around the building, all your title, championship, whatever. How do you sort of live in that space, knowing what you could be competing for, but not really talking about it in that fashion? And what role has this sort of played in your years?
Yeah, I can't speak for Sam. Obviously, he runs the ship, and he has a lot of different angles and stuff that he has to deal with and juggle. But from an internal perspective, as players, we understood the opportunity we had when the beginning of the year. We understood how much talent we had, and we understood we needed to get better, but we had a chance. We had to earn it. We had to go out there, and that's what you've heard us say all year: is we have the opportunity to earn. We run, we receive, and I think just through the year we've grown as a team to understand that our best is pretty good, and our best is maybe better than everybody else. And once we figure that out, I think we kind of leaned into that as a team. Me personally, once I got traded here, I saw the writing on the wall with how good the team was. I think maybe we fast tracked it. Maybe everybody didn't expect us to get to this point first year, but that's what hard work and competitive spirit does.
You mentioned the first year, obviously. I think people have this idea what a journey to the title is sort of supposed to look like. False and lost how many times before they kind of on top. How do you view the adversity this team has gone through, and why it's been enough?
Yeah, when you say it like that, it sounds like there's a threshold where you have to suffer and go through enough loss before you win. Where I think it's really like you said, like you can go out there and earn it, and if you're good enough, you're good enough. Whether you're the youngest team in the league, or you're the oldest team in the league, or you've been there before, you haven't. Obviously, a lot of those things factor in to how easy that path might be. Maybe not easy, but how that path can be shaped and how that path can be maneuvered along the way. But for us, we're a young team, but we're a very emotionally mature team. We're a very sport team. We're a very intellectual team. We're able to learn from our mistakes without having to go through loss. At least during the regular season, and not too much in the postseason. And that's a unique skill. That might be more important than experience. It's the ability to have self-awareness and ability to learn from mistakes. Where maybe teams in the past haven't had that, and maybe that's an overlooked thing. But at the end of the day, we got one thing in the game. That's kind of the most important thing. All this talk about that the extracurriculars is probably for another week or two. But I think some of those things might be overlooked through the course of the year. I'm looking at those two.
Last question.
You had a similar situation at Game 6 on the road at Denver. On that, what lessons can you take from maybe not the best outing in the offseason and apply here?
Yeah, I think we just got to look at how we can be better. I think that's something that we've done through the postseason as we've prepared for each game, to trial, to each scenario, situation. I think there's stuff that, we're very controllable in that Game 6 in Denver, looking back on it, that we didn't control, and that's unusual for us. We're a team that likes to control the margins of the game and the stuff that we can't control. So I think that's probably the biggest thing is probably not looking outward too much, but looking inward and understanding what you can do to control the game. You taking care of that first.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
How's it feel going into today's night? Or tomorrow night, sorry.
You never game plays pretty good. You're excited to play.
Oh, yeah, that really good.
Finals, NBA finals. So it's just awesome to have the opportunity to play another game, compete, go out there and try to put ourselves in position to win.
That's good. So how do you do with the society? And you are a few hours away. That thing would you give you a ring?
Try not to think about that part of it. Just try to focus on what you have to do to be ready for the game. Obviously, if you're thinking beyond, just kind of playing the game, what the task is at hand. You can kind of put your mental state of mind in a different space. But we've got to be all on the same page, just kind of locked in and focus on jump ball, and after jump ball, the first play of the game. And then from that point forward, just kind of stack plays to put ourselves in a position to win. Everything after that happens. But we got to put ourselves in a position to win, and that's what we're playing.
You still don't know if at least on the birthday you play tomorrow. That's changes something for backs.
It'll change personnel because he wasn't playing, but beyond that, we'll have the same mindset going in. We want to play, our same style and same brand of basketball. Nothing drastically changes in our head. Just gotta, kind of prep to the person of the day out there.
How are you able to carry over the energy from Game 5 into this Game 6 and then
like I said, just kind of staying focused on just our, approach to the game. Not losing sight or thinking about anything outside of preparation for Game 6. And if we can do that, we'll put ourselves in a good position as a team. So, just that'll hopefully carry over for Game 5.
What do you guys learn from Game 4 in terms of on the ball, getting that rhythm defensively? You're obviously a recipient of a lot of that under.
Yeah. I just think it just kind of goes to show, how hard of a team we are to guard, and how good we can be when we are playing on the same page, sharing the ball, getting each other involved, and playing aggressive and confident in that manner. We were able to get really good stuff offensively in transition and a half-court set. On both ends of the court, we're just kind of on a string. And that just goes to show, how good we can be. And when we stick to that, we put ourselves in good positions to engage.
It's one of the hardest things to do and try to close out a series on the run. You guys have been in this situation before. What can you take away from those other opportunities where you had a chance to close out a game on the road and could clutch?
Yeah, obviously some of those, past experiences were learning experiences. And then, just some of the things that we can kind of learn and we gather from that is just our level of focus. Being able to focus on the game, focus on each possession. That'll lead us to, being in a position to close out series to end the game. So that's our focus, just making sure that we're just locked in on the same thing, not worrying about anything outside of, when the jump they have to
the penalty. We usually see this game tomorrow. Just wondering, you guys always talk about keeping your emotions sick between games, going back to square one. I was wondering, how do we do that with a game like this?
I think realizing that, a game like this, if we don't handle our business, we give them life, and, we just put ourselves in, a different position than we're in, going into the game. We've got to make sure that, we're focused on, and we have an understanding that series isn't over, and there's more to be going, before we can be comfortable, before we can act on our emotions, we've got to make sure that we, put ourselves in position to, finish the job. So just trying to stay focused and locked in on and understanding what was not over yet.
I also wanted to know, it's kind of a weaker question, but is there something that you're really good at right now that you were not that good when you were younger? Like maybe when you were a kid or something?
I'd definitely say, what do you mean?
Like
when I was a kid?
Yeah, I don't know, like maybe you didn't shoot so well, or you didn't play defense the way you play now? I don't know.
I don't know. I like to think I've been pretty good at a little bit of everything since I was a kid. But maybe just my level of kind of competitiveness continued to grow as I got older. I don't know. I've always had a strong passion for the game, right? I had a love for the game, so I couldn't tell you one specific thing.
I was more about you.
Yeah, definitely more.
Do you have like a finals memory that's going to stick with you?
No, not yet. Maybe when this is all said and done, I could pick and choose that one. But like his last question, can't get caught up in the emotions or anything of anything yet. Gotta kind of close the job, finish this up, and you get back to it.
I know you don't want to get ahead, too far ahead, but this would be first championships, the win for Oklahoma City. Second is franchise-wise, dating back to Seattle. What would it mean? I guess winning is like, what kind of pressure you think going into this game of Game 6, and obviously that you have the team obviously like go Game 7.
First of all, it would mean a lot to the city. Basically the whole state of Oklahoma. Knowing that we're the only professional sports team right now. But to piggyback on that, it's just like, man, we're coming into this game like we're down 3-2. Like our back is against the wall. So of course we're human and we're thinking about that, but at the end of the day, like the job is nowhere near finished, and we still gotta go out and compete and win this game. So that's the most important thing right now.
And there's a shoe. I'm sure your thoughts on the difference what history the point decided. You aspect you on it was not just personal thoughts on that performance.
I mean, just special. That was a legendary performance. You talking about you kind of sometimes like take it for granted that you're able to play with like guys like Dub and Shay, like, who are special talents like that, because we won't be able to really put it in. Well, myself, like, it won't set in until like a few years later. Like, wow, this dude's really evolving in front of our eyes. He's becoming a star in this league in front of our eyes, and I'm just super proud of him and the way he works and carries himself. And I couldn't be happy for anyone else.
Thanks for the you have like a finals memory that feels like stick with you.
My favorite team was the 08 Celtics. So whenever they won and KG had his post-game interview, he was just yelling and he was saying anything is possible. That's one thing that sticks out to me whenever I think about like finals.
What's your finals memory of this finals?
Of this finals? Finals isn't over, so I can't even answer that question.
But the mystery got a lot. How do you know when I'm sitting play so called? Why do you know that he's like careful to clause on that and stuff?
I think the moment that he steps on the court, man, he takes the game very seriously.
Get off the list.
You can never tell, like, during the game or anything like that, because he does such a good job of keeping his composure. But like off the court, he's different. But when he steps in these rounds right here, it's like you get a totally different animal. And I would say that all of my teammates would agree to that.
And you get a team that one if you go top, they're always open like I didn't say. And we all have those numbers with outside as well. I naturally let it get something.
Not necessarily, man, because he doing it to us, and also like he's already on go already. So, yeah, man. I mean, playing with him for a few years now, he's already on go from the moment he steps on the court.
Do you are you that same or assist? So
I mean, I'm
this the same.
Yeah, I mean, somebody can turn me up for sure. The game can turn me up. The competitive nature of the game, my teammates, a little trash talk can turn me up. So I try to take it serious as soon as I step on the court too. But definitely moments in the game where you're like, okay, I'm a little amped up right now.
What's in your mind
just still go out there, approach the game the same way. Still got another win to get, so take away all the distractions, go out there and do everything to get the win.
tough always is to control the emotion, not what happens around you, but what happens inside.
I would say it's tough. I mean, just approaching like it's another game. I mean, we've played so many games this year. I can't even count how many games we played all season. So approach it the same way. It's going to be another tough challenge. You know, go out there, compete, play hard, and give our best chance to win.
As-tu l'impression que dans les deux derniers matchs, vous avez un peu trouvé la formule gagnante contre les Pacers? Qu'est-ce qui fait en sorte que vous avez pu enchaîner deux victoires d'affilée?
Bon, je pourrais pas dire la formule parce qu'on s'ajuste toujours. Mais on a trouvé des trucs qu'on peut faire pour garder le lead, surtout contre eux. Mais on joue juste notre style de basket à nous, mais on compétitionne vraiment fort. Puis si on joue comme ça, on se donne la meilleure chance de gagner le match.
Est-ce que le fait qu'il y a un doute sur la participation de Tyrese change quelque chose à cette préparation-là? Est-ce qu'il y a un plan s'il est là, un autre s'il n'est pas là?
Non, pas du tout. On les a joués plusieurs fois. Là, on est rendu au match numéro 6. So, on sait quand même qu'est-ce qu'ils peuvent faire s'il est sur le terrain ou s'il n'est pas sur le terrain. Alors, l'approche est toujours pareille.
I think you said that in French, but you asked in English. Anything changed for you in your preparation when you don't know if Tyrese Halliburton will play tomorrow?
No, not really. I feel like it has to be the same approach. I mean, we've seen them. We played them a couple times now. We know what all the guys can do on the floor. So the approach has to be the same. You know, it's going to be a couple of adjustments, obviously, but you still got to go out there and compete and play hard.
Wiggins, comment tu balances l'excitation d'être à un match, de gagner le championnat et d'être quand même groundé parce que le travail n'est pas encore terminé?
Ouais, honnêtement, j'essaie de ne pas y penser. C'est un match comme les autres. C'est un match qui va être difficile, surtout ici à Indiana. Mais on est dans cette position-là pour une raison. On a travaillé fort pour être ici. On doit aller demain soir puis nous donner la bonne chance de gagner le match.
À quel point tu es impressionné par Jalen Williams et de sa progression, un joueur de 3e année qui réussit une performance comme il a fait dans le match numéro 5. Comment un peu sa progression?
C'était malade, c'était vraiment fou. Tu vois qu'il s'améliore en tant que joueur. C'est sûr que dans les playoffs, il y a toujours des hauts et des bas, mais il reste vraiment groundé, puis il aime ça le challenge. Puis à chaque match, il est là, puis tu sens sa présence. Puis le dernier match, on a vraiment senti sa présence.
Si jamais vous gagnez demain, tu vas en quelque sorte gâcher l'anniversaire de ton bon ami Bénédicte. Comment est-ce que tu vois cette situation-là? Tu dois penser un peu à toi. Puis...
Bon, honnêtement, j'essaie de ne pas penser à ça. C'est sûr que je dois focus sur le match. Mais on a une opportunité de faire quelque chose de vraiment gros, puis en tant qu'équipe, on va aller le faire.
Tu penses qu'il te pardonnerait si jamais vous l'emportez ici, le jour de sa fête?
Je pense qu'il va me pardonner un jour, c'est ça.
À quel point c'est... Go ahead.
Do you approach a matchup with Tyrese differently, knowing that you may not be 100%?
No, I wouldn't say that, honestly. I feel like any player who's out there would be good to go. So honestly, our approach as a team is just the same thing. Still follow our game plan, go out there and make it tough for all the guys that's on the floor, and then it would be the same.
Do you find yourself having to catch yourself while thinking, how close you are to win against that?
Yeah. The main focus should go out there and win that game. That's it. Block the distraction, block anything else. We got to stay together and go out there. It's going to be a hard place to play in, and then you just got to stay together and get the job done.
Vraiment, vous avez marqué 32 points sur 23 revirements. À quel point la défense, ici même dans le match numéro 6, va encore être vraiment importante. Et lorsque vous jouez bien en défense, ça facilite l'attaque de l'autre côté aussi.
Ouais. C'est la façon qu'on joue. C'est comme ça qu'on a joué toute la saison. On sait qu'on est capable de faire beaucoup de revirements à leur côté. Si on joue de cette façon-là, c'est sûr qu'on va nous donner la meilleure chance de gagner le match. Mais aussi, depuis qu'on joue ensemble et en équipe, on a vraiment une bonne chance.
You guys are 1 point away from championship. How have you guys established that kind of mindset over the years? Not just now, but over the years. How has it been helping you guys now?
Yeah, I would say be where our feet are right now. We have to play game 6 to not think about anything else than just go out there and win that game. And I feel like that would be a build-up from all the years. Every time we always have that 0-0 mentality, and every time we go out there, we try to win the game in front of us. So that's the approach we got.
You talked about how Marcus kept the big picture in mind for you guys, even through the losing season. How has that big picture mindset with him kind of trickled down with you guys throughout the years?
It's been great. You know, it's always a process, and also the trust. You know, you have the coach, the leader of the whole pack, you know, having that vision at first, you know what I mean? And then it's just easy for us to follow after that. But, you know, just the fact that we had him to remind us where we could go as a team and as an organization, it was great. And we all believe and follow that.
It's kind of along those lines. This isn't the first time that you guys have had the opportunity to close out a series on the road, even in this postseason. What did you guys take as a group from those other experiences to go into this one?
Yeah, you know, really approach the game like it's any other game. You know, we've been through that experience before. I feel like we've learned a lot from that. So, yeah, honestly, just go out there and the game in front of us and try everything to win the game. And after that, we'll deal with what we got to deal with. Yeah, I'm talking about Shay, right? Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's good. I mean, you just know that he won't fall, and then even when the pressure is high, you know he's still there and ready to go, and then it just really sets a tone. You know, I mean, you see your best player like that, the other guys will just follow and then just be like, man, we in a good position, we good, and then yeah, he'll just be ready to take those big shots, and then whenever he finds us on the perimeter, we got to be ready to make the big shots too.
Lou, you guys were going to the Olympic tournament. I mean, like Shay said, I don't know if you saw it the same way, that it almost surprised him how suddenly it could end. When it was gone, it was gone. And did that experience, I don't know if you felt that same way, but just going through that and not getting your goal you were hoping for, does it kind of, you bring that with you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say that layout, the way that FIBA is set up in the Olympics and all that is kind of prepares you for the playoff games and stuff. I mean, it's a win or go home, and you got to give your best shot, or you have a chance to go home and not be in that position again for the next 4 years. So that's how it helps us seeing those approach those playoff games and knowing that if we lose a game, we might put ourselves in a bad position. And but it definitely helps for sure. And then it's definitely harder in the Olympics because you're going back home, but it helps for sure.
One win away from the championship. First of all, I was just wondering how you feeling good?
I feel good, yeah.
And second, you guys have so many great defenders in the team. Yeah. Alex, Cason, Jada, Shay, everyone, Chet, obviously. Being together, is it something that are you guys learning from each other? Is that a thing?
For sure. I mean, we communicate a lot. Some of the guys some of the big C, behind us when we guard, we can't see that, so they help us on that end, and then the perimeter guys that guards the ball most of the time, we always communicate. We watch film a lot together, and we see what we can do on the court.
Lou, what means for you being one win away to complete the goal this year, and also what message you send to the city of Oklahoma before the game tomorrow?
Yeah, it's not a game. Approach it the same way. We still got to go out there and do the job on the court. And then, I'll tell the people in Oklahoma City to enjoy the game. It's going to be a tough one. And then, we'll give our best shots to win the game.
Thank you so much.
Tu mentionnais en anglais que vous allez devoir être prêt à réussir des gros tirs. Au début de la finale, ça se passe particulièrement bien pour toi. Est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose dans ta préparation? Comment est-ce que tu expliques que tu es si efficace en finale?
Ouais, je suis juste confortable, honnêtement. J'ai travaillé fort pour être dans ce stade-là en ce moment, dans cette position-là en ce moment. J'ai pas envie d'être trop dans la pression. Je veux juste, à la fin de la journée, c'est du basket quand même. Puis, j'ai travaillé fort toute ma vie pour être dans cette position-là. Je dois juste être prêt, puis je sais que je suis un bon joueur aussi. C'est sûr que je suis vraiment confiant.